Do you love somebody, Craig?
I suppose I love a lot of people.
Do you feel that they love you?
I do, yeah.
Do you get scared about loving people?
I suppose I did, but not anymore.
Why did you used to get scared about loving people?
Well, I never realised what I did for anybody else, so therefore I thought maybe they don't love me, why should I love them?
That's
And I
right.
didn't see what I did. And it's only now I've realised that I had a love for people that I didn't even realise I did. And therefore, do you know what? I need to show that love back that they showed me, and that love that I'm scared of. Embrace it.
I used to fear showing love to people just because I thought if that love wasn't returned the way I needed it, then that would mean I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of other people's love.
Yeah, and you can get spiraled down into a very, very bad place, can't you? When you feel that feeling. Why can't that person love me like I love them? It must be me. I have to get better. I have to prove myself more. But you've got nothing to prove to anybody.
Just to yourself.
Loving yourself is the key. That's where you need to start off. Start off loving yourself.
And it's so hard to love yourself because you are your greatest judge. Whenever you've looked back at your past and remember the things that you've done that you've not been happy with and you've judged yourself, you cut those pieces of yourself away from you like they're contaminating you.
Toxic.
And it leads to even more shame and inner feeling of no worth, no esteem. But if you really understand that you've acted in those ways that you find inappropriate in the past because of the uncomfortable and strange ways you learnt to survive in your environment growing up, and you go to that time in your past before you learnt those ways that you would judgmentally class as inappropriate, you'd realise that you was a beautiful child with the world at your feet, and all you needed around you in your life was loving, happy, non-judgmental parents.
You were so pure, the purest thing that the world has to offer, really. You just get scarred along the way. However, just love yourself and you'll love so many more people. You'll start speaking to so many more people. You'll open up doors that was always locked, or to be honest you probably couldn't even see the doors, but they're all around you and you can open them up. You've got the key. What's a lovely memory for you? Think of a nice, happy moment in your life. It could have been last week, it could have been years ago. You want me to tell you mine? I thought back to the time, even though I'm separated from my wife now, but I remember this memory. It was our wedding song, our wedding dance, and I remember thinking nobody else was in the room apart from my wife. For 3 minutes the song lasted, and we was all on our own, and the 50-60 people wasn't there, and I remember thinking that'll stay with me for a very long time. Even though we're separated now, I don't need to forget about it, because it was still happy. It was still a happy time. So I'm going to enjoy that moment again and again. Do you have one?
I think the only times I've ever felt true happiness is when I feel that I am loved. That's where I get my sense of completion from.
So when have you been really, really loved by somebody?
My children,
What did they do?
the way they look at you, the way they speak to you, the way they embrace you, you get so much love from a child. I know in my past, when I've been with my children, they love you regardless of your past, regardless of the way you feel about yourself. They really do love you absolutely unconditionally, don't they?
They do.
And I suppose they're the greatest teachers of us all as our children, because they look at us with such love and acceptance. If we could just for one moment turn and mirror their behaviours back at them.
Back at other people as well.
Yeah, it doesn't stop with the kids, does it?
No. Imagine looking at through the eyes of a child and their no discrimination. I told you that story before, didn't I? About my son seeing a guy that was big, scruffy. I judged him, didn't want my son to walk by him. I judged this man as a human. And my son turned around and says, that man was nice, he smiled at me. He just saw a man. And I'd been scarred by life and I judged that man.
Try and go back to that time if you can in your life before you became somebody that easily judges. We all do it, and I'll go back to doing it now. It's impossible to get that conditioning out of our minds, but there was a time when you could look at anybody in the face and the only thing you'd ever feel for them is curiosity and love, really. So
You just gotta just open that heart and that soul that's been, battered throughout the years, and we've all had tough things. Just try and get some love back.
and it will heal you. That really is the answer to it all, isn't it? The more you reject the people around you for the fear of them rejecting you, the more that you push people away or judge people, the unhappier you're going to be. You've got to take that risk and surrender yourself to the universe, understanding that you can get hurt in the process. People can judge you, but to just get that childlike sense of love, curiosity back, can really help you to lead a such more fruitful, open-hearted life, can't it?
Can. Just start doing small little gestures, just something so tiny. Instead of seeing a homeless man and thinking if you give him a couple of pounds it will go towards drugs, even if it does, you don't know what his past was. Maybe he needs them drugs to get through the day because he's had it so bad, but just do something nice.
I remember when my daughter was 5, she's 10 now, and I remember I cried one of the nights thinking about how much I loved her and how much I feared her growing up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I cried and I got worried thinking that one day when I'm gone she's going to have nobody there for her. So I thought, I want another kid. I want him to have that connection with somebody that's experienced the same upbringing as she has.
It's powerful.
So we had another child, and this was 5 years ago, and I thought to myself the other day, that is such a beautiful memory that's within me that I could pass down to my daughter.
Yeah.
Imagine me going to the grave and my daughter didn't realise I had that emotion towards her. So the other night I says to my daughter, I cried for you when you was 5, of how much love I had for you. And I had the idea of giving you a sister, so hopefully one day, when the pain comes of losing somebody in your life that you love, you've got somebody there that you've got a connection with that you probably won't ever have with a friend to a certain degree. You can develop that connection, but it's so much easier to have a connection with somebody that's grew up in the same environment as you. And I told that to my daughter, and I thought that was such, I don't know why I never told her for 5 years. It was probably, I don't know, it just wasn't the norm for me to speak so openly about my feelings. And that's a good thing for me, that realising that we should speak more openly with the way we feel, no matter how much pain there is in there, or joy. just to express those feelings. And now that's a memory that I can take to the grave with one day, knowing that my daughter will always look back at her dad and think, my daddy cried from her because of how much love he had in his heart for her.
And that is beautiful and it's powerful, and thank you for sharing that with us.
It's okay, Craig.
And that's reminding me of something.
I've got more stuff to share with you.
Do you want to tell me now?
No.
So that's reminding me about how brothers and sisters fall out, and we fall out with members of the family, and sometimes they don't get in touch with you, so you stay stubborn and you don't get in touch with them. Do you know what? Pick up the phone, go down their house. It might take a bit of time, you might have to do a lot more sort of forgiving them. Maybe they won't forgive you, but just try.
Forgive yourself.
Life's too short to hold these grudges and don't speak to someone, and then guess what? Everyone that you never speak to turns up at a funeral because someone's passed away, and then you won't see them again 2 years until the next funeral. Don't live like that. Go to the parties, go to birthdays, engagements when they're alive. Family is important, friends are important, make new friends. Try and make a friend.
Make love your #1 priority. Throw away the magazines, throw away the games, throw away the TV if you wanna. Just give yourself over to love, no matter what risks come with it.
If you see a person, maybe who you work with, they've got lots of negative things, it's quite easy, they're unhygienic, they have lazy ways. See the positive, and there's going to be one positive in what they do. Focus on that. Focus on the one good thing they do, and forget about the 20 bad things they do. And you know what? You might just say something to them one day that makes them feel so good, like you felt once before.
Thank you for listening again, ladies and gentlemen.
It was nice to be happy. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it too.
You've got a very lovely story. He cried over his child. That is a story that I will remember and I will take to the grave. Beautiful.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Craig.